Alright, today I'm just going to be summarizing roughly over how to do a aftermarket lock actuator install. Probably the cheapest, quickest way to do it. I'm skipping some steps just because most videos show these basics. I'm just going to kind of show you a little bit of the process and then some of the methods that I changed to make it maybe a little more efficient and a little more cost effective. Let's start here. Here's a door lock actuator kit. I got it from Parts Express. Cost $7.49. I already did the driver's side door, and this is on my 05 G35 coupe. Here's the stuff that comes in it. Don't use this. You use this part, the actual actuator right here, and then comes with the bag. Inside the bag, the only pieces you need, the piece to lock the wires together, and these small little screws right here. Alright, I'm going to start off from where I'm at right now. So far, I've removed the door panel. It consists of 3 screws that hold it in. Right here, they're located, I'm sure as aware. There's one that's up here behind a little plastic cover. Little plastic cover looks like this. It's on here. And then you have the 2 in here, there. And you have 1 in there. They're all the same size. They're 10 millimeter. You need an extension on your socket wrench, or you can just use a screwdriver. Phillips. And to pry off the little pieces, the little cap, I used a little flathead. So let's take the door off, and the rest is just held on by clips. The next step now, after you got this off, is to obviously, before you can pull the door off all the way, disconnect the light, the lamp that's located at the bottom of the door, and then disconnect the controls here for your window and your lock, and then this right here, the door handle. I just disattached this from the door panel, and that consists of 3 Phillips that are the same size right here. I just have a sheet here down so nothing gets scraped up. Alright, now the next step I go over would be to access the wires to power the actuator. You need to access them. They're located behind the speaker here. It's going to be 2 wires. It's going to be a green and a dark blue. Alright, I got the speaker out here. Got the little wire disconnected. Alright, the next, it's going to be located in here. Inside this wire shroud here. Just gotta, here, let me sit. Alright, here I'm actually going to correct myself. The other side was green and blue. This one is purple and blue. And those are the only 2 wires inside on the passenger door. There's a lot more wires inside on the driver's side door because of all the different controls, but it will be these 2 wires. I just snip them at different lengths, and then alright. Next step here, the actuator. Got the wires here cut. You see how I took these? These are different distance there. If you want, you can take these 2 wires here, and you can get a wire nut at the end. Make sure they don't short out. These 2 are already stripped, and the color sequence you use here on the actuator, the one from Parts Express, you want the blue to blue, and you want the green to purple to get the right sequence. For it will actually unlock when you unlock. But you need to match up those correctly to the colors blue to blue and green to purple. Alright, now the next step you'll need is some speaker wire, some hair. It doesn't need to be a large gauge, it doesn't really matter as long as just about any speaker wire will work. It's just 16 gauge. And then here I have a little sorted kit from Harbor Freight. These should be suffice. They're just butt connectors that are going to be crimped, and I can use that to crimp the wires together, the connectors. That's what I'm going to do. You can twist them together with a wire nut, or you can solder them and use heat shrink with them. Either way will work. All right, let me do that. All right, got the wires crimped off, other end stripped, and then I have it fed through this hole. Just a little sticker in the way of it. Now you can feed it through different points as you want. I just chose to go here. So I have that in. Now since this is fed through, you can put the speaker back in. Alright. And then I have a source for the actuator. So the next step is stick the speaker back in, and then next spot is I'm going to be cutting out a spot here in the styrofoam for my actuator. Alright, now that I used the cutout in the styrofoam, just outlining it with a utility knife, or you can use a regular knife. Have a connecting rod in. You have to cut out this flat plastic guard right here, and this one you're going to have to cut a groove in and then a hole for the connecting rod to go through. But the next step is on the locking cable, right behind the styrofoam piece, between here and here, between the two styrofoams, you're going to want to strip the outermost part of the top wire for the lock. You have to strip the outside black rubber coating and then the little tiny metal wires around it to get to the center. Alright, now I have the outer jacket stripped, as you can see. There's little wires surrounding inside the rubber, and behind that is another little thin transparent plastic sleeve. Need to get to this core piece, move back and forth. Then I have the actuator placed here, and let's see where my key's at. See the action on it?
Are you still using the crimp, or are you done with that?
Alright, so the next step is to use this connecting rod, and so what you can do is I'm going to cut a little hole in the center of this with a utility knife and feed this rod through so it moves at a straight line, and then I'll move this back against the rod. I'll use this little piece right here to lock them together. Alright, now I'm going to show you the last and final steps. Alright, I use a little wire to wedge in between there because it's not the gaps. This wire, the one that moves the actual lock, it's a little too small, so just a couple little scrap wires. Stuffed them in there to help hold tension, the rubber hold tension so this doesn't slide in and out in there. Then this connecting rod off the actuator, have that connected to the other side, fed through. And to help make sure it moves back and forth straight, I cut out a little slot on this farther plastic shield so that it can move back and forth. Have the wires connected to the actuator, and it will move the door lock back and forth here. Let me quickly show you. Here's back and forth action. Go. Now I just need to put the door back together, and you have a working door. I'll show you the results. Alright, here we go. We have the door reinstalled. See the lock action. So there you go. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to comment. I apologize for not taking video of the whole process of me doing it, but I'm limited by being able to do everything with one hand. So, thanks.